Ready to go at PNC Stadium in Houston, Texas on this Friday evening here in the NWSL. It's the Houston Dash hosting the Orlando Pride. Joe Malfa here with you this evening. Glad you could join us from wherever you are here on Twitch. A warm one as always in Houston, 29 degrees Celsius. That will certainly be a factor as this evening wears on for two teams that are tied with 8 points each in the early going of the NWSL season. You have a handful of teams in the middle there tied on 8 points. Houston, Chicago, Louisville, and Orlando all jockeying for position in the standings. Jane Campbell goes to take her goal. A look at the starting lineup for this Houston side. Jane Campbell in goal. From left to right around the back in this 4-3-3. Haley Hansen, Katie Naughton, Allie Prysock, and Alicia Chapman. In the midfield, Marissa Vigiano, Sophie Schmidt, and Shea Groom. And up top, left to right, Maria Sanchez, Rachel Daly, and Nichelle Prince. On the opposite side for Orlando as we get things going here at PNC Stadium. Also a 4-3-3. Erin McLeod in goal. From left to right around the back, Carrie Bello, Tony Presley, Megan Montefusco, and Gunny Jonsdottir. In the midfield, Michaela Clough, Jordan Listro, and Viviana Villacorta. And the top three, Darian Jenkins, Cindy LaRue, and Leah Pruitt. Orlando coming into this one off a 2-2 draw against the Washington Spirit. Prior to that, a 4-2 loss against Chicago. Have to go back to May the 18th for the last win. That was 2-1 on the road against North Carolina. And speaking of North Carolina, that was the most recent opponent last week here in this venue for Houston. They played to a 1-1 draw. And before that, a 3-game road trip for the Dash, which saw them beat Kansas City and Portland on the road with a draw against Louisville in there as well. Over the top here, looking for Daly. Daly on the run. Here's Prince. Nichelle Prince to the end line, looking back in the middle for Daly. Chapman. All the way back now for Naughton. But now on the opposite side, so they welcome her back. Luis Guardia, the referee tonight. Rachel Daly coming off her third goal of the season in what was her 100th regular season appearance last week with Houston. They went down 1-0 early in that game before Rachel Daly was able to equalize right at the stroke of halftime. Only one change in the starting 11 this week for Houston as opposed to last week. Kelsey Hedge was injured in that match. Marissa Vigiano subbed in for the injured Hedge, and that's just the one change. It's Vigiano in as the starter this time around. A couple of changes on the opposite side for Orlando with a Bello coming into the lineup. No Celia this evening. Gunny Jonsdottir will play right back as you see there with the captain's armband. Also into the lineup, Tony Presley. So a Bello for Peterson. Presley checks in as well. And with Celia out, Jonsdottir slides over to the back line. Sanchez looking forward for Vigiano. And it's taken back by Orlando. Team that really struggled under Amanda Cromwell to find their footing in the Challenge Cup. A new coach at the pro level for the first time after an incredible run at UCLA. A lot of turnover on the roster, so it's understandable where that sluggish Challenge Cup start came from. They have certainly turned it around to the positive. It went 0-4-2. No wins, 4 losses, 2 draws, Orlando in the Challenge Cup. And now have begun the season 2-2-2. Similar on the opposite side for Houston. Also 4 losses in the Challenge Cup. Here's Daly. Swing and a miss as she stumbled down. Well done quickly in transition. All slotted through by Groom. Question is, where will the scoring be coming from for Orlando if it's not from Sydney Leroux, who's on it now? Michaela Clough has started to find her way, and she has a pair. Play it in for Campbell. Listro back for Jan's daughter. Orlando will swing it. Deep in the corner, the pressure of Houston starting to get to Orlando. Saw this last week from this Houston side against North Carolina with Sarah Loudon as the interim coach. They would go away for a few moments at a time. They would pull back on the pressure, wouldn't overdo it, especially in this Houston heat. Have to conserve your energy, have to pick your spots when you can and can't press forward. But when they pressed, they gave North Carolina fits. Something Orlando has to be wary of this evening. Chapman opens up under heavy pressure. There's a look at Amanda Cromwell on the opposite side for Orlando. Very happy with the way this team has begun to come together. Orlando's just been in flux for so long. 2020, that year, of course, you've got them missing the Challenge Cup and then only having the fall series. Last year, a coaching change mid-year. Prior to that, all they gave up in the trade for Alex Morgan, and they were always kind of half in, half out, rebuild, win now, always in flux, the best way to put it, Orlando. And they feel finally they have both feet firmly on the ground under the guidance of Amanda Cromwell, a good young nucleus to this team, the veterans sprinkled in like Leroux, and even Marta, who's injured, of course, but still leading with the team, always in video sessions, always there to lend a helping hand as the flag goes up here on Rachel Daly. So terrific veteran presence still in this Orlando team. As they've done a better job now bridging the gap, it seems, between the veterans and the younger players. Not much of a middle ground in terms of the ages on this team. Everybody's either 28 and above or 24 and younger. Bello finds Leroux. Out for Darian Jenkins. Rather Leah Pruitt on the left side, now looking to switch over toward Jenkins. Finally gets it out there. Jenkins back for Villacorta. Shot blocked. Still alive for Pruitt. And now Vigiano will take it. Daly. You know what this Houston team wants to do? Defend well, Try to get it up over the top for Prince and Daly to run onto in space. All-time series between these two clubs. 9 wins for Houston, 5 for Orlando, and 2 draws. That's in all competitions. Last time they met was last September, and they finished with a 1-1 draw. Prior to that, though, Houston had won 4 consecutive matches in the series. Orlando has not beaten Houston since April of 2018. From that point forward, 3 straight Houston wins, then a draw, then 4 straight Houston wins, and then another draw. And this went out for a goal kick. 10 minutes in, scoreless from PNC Stadium in Houston, Texas. Joe Malfa with you this evening on Twitch. 29 degrees Celsius in Houston. We'll be having hydration breaks in both halves. Here's Clough. Jenkins. Looking through for LaRue. Maria Sanchez. Houston pinned in. Orlando keeps up the pressure. That was an errant pass. Fortunate for Houston. And nobody was waiting in that soft spot to pounce. Looking for Prince over the top. Prince goes down. Got her hands into the back of Montefusco. Might have been called for a foul anyway. Had Montefusco not just come away with it. These teams meet in Houston. Expect goals. 8 all-time meetings here in Houston between these teams. 3.6 goals per match. Same token, though, Houston has been defending rather well of late. 7 straight matches in which they have not allowed more than 1 goal in the regular season going back to last year. The Dash have tightened things up defensively after really struggling in the Challenge Cup. Gave up 13 goals in the 6 matches. Not at all the case in regular season play. Well done by Schmidt. Goes for a goal here, hoping to catch the goalkeeper, Erin McLeod. A bit off her line. Ambitious idea. That is a very experienced goalkeeper, Erin McLeod. Have to trust that she knows what she's doing back there. But good on Schmidt to pick the head up and notice right away. Those 2 Canadian teammates, gold medalists. So maybe a thing or 2 picked up on in training from Schmidt. That would lead her to know that option was on the table. This, by the way, is the 1,000th game being played in league history in all competitions. Regular season, playoff, Challenge Cup, Fall Series, you name it. You'll find 1,002 official results in the book. Those include the 2 forfeits from last season due to COVID. But this is the 1,000th actually being played between the lines. Prince back. Patience here from the dash. And just as I say that, they look to go forward, but not in sync. Here's Montefusco. Now Vigiano. Those two were traded for each other in the offseason. Orlando sent Vigiano for Montefusco, $30,000 in allocation, and a 2023 third-round draft pick. Stages, the ball has been with Orlando, almost 60% of that possession. Neither team yet, though, with a shot on target. This is currently the best regular season stretch to begin a year, I should say, for Houston. Only 3 goals allowed in their first 5 games. A win for either of these teams will go ahead and put that club in second place on 11 points, although later tonight, on Portland host Angel City, that could shake things up just a bit. A draw would put both of these teams up on 9 points, along with Angel City and OL Reign. That's a terrible miscue at the back to gift Houston a corner like that. Opportunities Houston had last week on set pieces from the corner never really amounted to anything. Deliveries were suspect. Daly's service, a good one over the front post, but well defended. Listro clears. Back for Campbell. Just put it wide of Hansen. Even over to Orlando. Very cagey start between these two teams. Game largely being played in the middle third of the field. Here's LaRue with options. LaRue telegraphed it, left it short of Darian Jenkins. Orlando has won 2 straight road games. To extend that to 3 tonight. Very confident they are on the road with all the recent results. And Cromwell chalked that up a bit too. Some of the camaraderie experience when you're on the road. For Houston, this is game number 2 of a 3-game homestand that followed up that 3-game road trip. They were elated to take 7 points from that road trip. Wanted to back it up with some strong results at home. Started with a draw, hoping for 3 points tonight. Groom into Prince, fakes the initial attempt. Probably should have just taken it first time. As soon as she made that fake, the window that was there closed up. And once it closes, it doesn't open again. Presley sweeps it away. Schmidt over to Hansen. Working end line on a bellow. It deflects centrally to Prince. And Clough is there to knock it away from Vigiano. Third of an hour gone at PNC Stadium. Last attack, the most promising of the evening for Houston, but decision of Prince to attempt the fake instead of just going for goal cost them. Right there. Could she have taken that first time? On second look, to be fair, Presley did a really good job of cutting off the angle. But she still had a better chance at it at the first crack than she did after taking the extra touch. Here's LaRue. Still LaRue. Campbell, a kick save, and a terrific one at that. First shot on goal for either team. LaRue nearly had the opener. Put that one in the highlight reel for Campbell. Jenkins still trying to make something out of this. Daly way deep to help defend after that scare. Question today was going to be, how would Orlando follow up their thriller against Washington last week? They were trailing 2-0 going into stoppage time. Clough went ahead and scored 90+5. Darian Jenkins then went on to score what was the latest goal in NWSL regular season history, 97-53, the clock read. Daly through for Prince. Can she keep it in? She can. Lofts it back toward Daly, but too much. Orlando saved their best for the end last week and come out and controlled most of this game through 22 minutes, but all of a sudden, Houston's starting to find some life. They'll have a free kick. That was actually the second time this season that Orlando managed to come from behind and earn a point late in the match. Get back on May 14th as well. 96-minute penalty in that game by Tony Presley. One came against Kansas City, also a 2-2 scoreline. So this one not over till it's over. Still have a long way to consider what it might look like in the closing moments, but always know that until this final whistle blows, Orlando's not out of it. They've shown that this season. Schmidt's cross deflected, now headed away by Montefusco. Kept alive by Prysock. Hansen Has options centrally, plays it that way. LaRue clears. Clough for Listro. Jonsdottir making the run up the right flank. Nice little play, bottom of your screen there by Listro. The positional awareness when Jonsdottir goes forward up the right wing. Listro checks back in. It has been quite the ride for Jordan Listro here in this league. With Orlando in 2020 for the fall series. And traded for Kansas City last year. 7 appearances for the Current. They didn't renew her contract at year's end. She's brought in the offseason by North Carolina. They didn't sign her before the regular season started. And now she's back in Orlando. We're happy to have Listro in the mix. 2 caps for Canada. Player who has just kind of slipped through the cracks wherever she's been. Never really given a platform to showcase herself like she maybe has now. Back from McLeod. Tried to find Groom in the middle. Daly takes it from Vigiano. Over the top for Prince. Perfectly weighted ball through. Prince trying to get around McLeod. Her shot saved off the line. No, now it's in. On the slide, it seemed like it might stay out. Ends up in the net anyway. And Nichelle Prince, on the first shot on target of the match for Houston, gives them a 1-0 lead. Perfect ball over from Daly. McLeod caught in between here. Fought right there. It would be saved off the line by a hustling Tony Presley. She thought she had it as well. Slides through. Gets to it maybe a few inches off the line. But just hits it off the chin and into the net. Nichelle Prince finds her 2nd goal of the season, her 10th in the league. Had the assist last week on the Rachel Daly goal, and now it's the other way around. Daly to Prince, returning the favor. Right now the goalkeeper is the difference. Both teams 3 shots, 1 on target. The one for Orlando came off the foot of LaRue. And an outstanding right-legged kick save from Jane Campbell. Kept it scoreless. Only a few moments later, a mistake from McLeod, one might say, getting caught in no man's land as Prince was able to touch it around her and slide it home. This one far from over. Orlando, with all these late goals they've been scoring, and on top of that, they've had now 4 straight matches in which they've scored multiple goals. That might be the most surprising aspect of this regular season turnaround for Orlando. There was a question of where the goals would come from in the Challenge Cup. They only scored 4 in 6 matches. They come out in the regular season. They start by being shut out against Gotham. Here's Daly over the bar. More time to set that one up than I think she realized. Orlando begins the year shut out again against Gotham. And they pick up the victory against Angel City, only scoring 1 goal in the process, but 1 was enough. So all in all, 6 matches of Challenge Cup, first 2 games of the regular season. Orlando, a grand total of 5 goals in those 8 matches. Since then, they have 8 in 4 matches. Half an hour gone here at PNC Stadium. The goal scored in the 27th minute by Nichelle Prince. That's the difference right now. Joe Malva here with you on Twitch. Glad you could join us this evening from wherever you are in the world. Amanda Cromwell, not the biggest fan of this call. See if she has a gripe. There's a lot of hands there from Pruitt. Maybe what she's arguing, though, is at the end there. What Chapman did on the ground, grabbing the leg of Pruitt as she ran by. Something's going to give here. What will it be? As this one is played through to McLeod. Will it be Orlando's stretch of multi-goal games? Or will it be Houston finally conceding goals this season? Only 3 in the first 5 matches of the regular season. Either Houston maintains its defensive streak or Orlando maintains its scoring streak. If it's the former, Houston will be on the way to 3 points. If it's the latter, buckle up. We're going to have a really fun hour the rest of the way. Over the top to Daly, the header! Incredible from Rachel Daly. Diving at the penalty spot, soaring through the air, and nodding it over the outstretched hand of Erin McLeod. 2-0 Houston, 4th of the season for Rachel Daly. The run starts there from the midfield. What a ball from Maria Sanchez. Very reminiscent of the Robin Van Persie diving header in the 2014 World Cup. Ball played in from the same spot. Daly diving beyond the penalty spot for the header over the goalie. And it's 2-0 Houston. Clough quickly the other way. Finds LaRue just wide. Almost a perfect response from Orlando. Brysock struggling to close down, left way too much space. LaRue has had 2 terrific opportunities now for Orlando. That one put wide, the other one robbed by Jane Campbell. Here's Clough. Not to pick on McLeod, but you can wonder what she was maybe thinking on that second goal as well, just where that ball was, kind of caught between coming off her line and staying back. Takes a couple of steps forward, and that was enough to leave that window where a perfect header from Daly beats her. If she's on her line, there's no issues there. Now the first goal comes off her line, uncertain, and Prince easily goes around her. Not entirely to blame for those first 2 goals, Erin McLeod, but certainly some of the blame might go her way. And time again, she has bailed out Orlando with terrific stop after terrific stop. Not a case of her being an issue, of course, but tonight, just the way it's played out, there might be some finger pointing. 10 minutes to go in this first half, and Rachel Daly needs a moment. The rest of the players out on the field use that as an extra moment to go over to the sideline, get some fluids in them. Temperatures in the upper 20s Celsius this evening here in Houston. The one thing about the Houston heat is once it becomes nightfall, it doesn't get cooler. It's just a dry heat that sticks with you. So many places, the sun will go down, the temperature will go down with it. Houston doesn't get the memo from Mother Nature in that regard. So the heat will be a factor all evening long, even as day becomes night at PNC Stadium. I haven't seen Orlando reeling like this since their 3-0 defeat back on May 1st against Gotham. Gotham scored all 3 of those goals in that match in a span of 12 minutes. Sanchez draws the foul. Have to point out again the ball that Sanchez put in on that Daly goal. Absolutely astonishing. McLeod again kind of comes forward a few steps and then retreats. Indecisive tonight. Wonder if after once or twice when that happens, it just gets in a goalkeeper's head. Took a few steps forward and then had to scamper back. Didn't cost her that time. No Dash player on the end of it. Sanchez, though, for a moment, made her first home appearance for the Dash the last time Houston hosted Orlando and picked up her first NWSL goal in that game. Tonight goes ahead and gets her first assist of this season. Schmidt, dangerous crossfield pass. Jenkins, if she could have held on to that a second longer, with a softer touch, might have been in for goal. In front of Prince, flag stays down. Prince cuts it back. Prince shoots it, a deflection! Everything going Houston's way tonight. That looked like it was an intended cross. Takes the deflection and beats McLeod at the near post. Nothing she could have done about it. It is 3-0 Dash. Now this is looking incredibly reminiscent of that early season game against Gotham or Orlando, conceding 3 times in the opening half. On to Fusco. Deflects it in at the near post. That one, I'm not sure if it'll go down as Prince's second goal or an own goal. The first one, no question, was an Michelle Prince goal. The second one for now goes her way. It'll just be a matter of deeming whether that was a shot or a cross. If they deem it was a shot on target, deflection or not, it'll go down as a Nichelle Prince goal, and if so, it'll be her third of the season and her second of the night. This is not something you want to see if you're Orlando. Deja vu of that Gotham match, but can Houston make it 4 now? Hopeful from Groom. Back to that Gotham game for a moment. They scored in the 29th, 30th, and 41st minutes. Here tonight, 27th, 32nd, and 39th. So both occasions, 3 goals in the span of 12 minutes in the first half to make it 3-0. To avoid letting one bad thing lead to another. It's an issue that's propped up twice now for Orlando. Good thing for the Pride, though, is between Gotham on May 1st and this match here on June the 3rd. Plenty of success in between. Picked up 8 points along the way, which has them right around the playoff line. Just eerily similar. First halves of both games to go down 3-0. To have the first and third goals of those stretches exactly 12 minutes apart. That time it was from the 29th to the 41st. This time it's from the 27th to the 39th. It is officially given to Nichelle Prince. Deemed the shot on target, deflected in. So her third of the season and second of the evening. This is just the second time in the history of the Houston Dash that they've scored 3 goals in the first half of a match. In danger of giving one back here, but Campbell makes the stop. LaRue wanted a penalty awarded. There was a case to be made, a lot of contact. Good ball in from Darian Jenkins. Let's see. Did LaRue go down on her own as she was trying to slide for the ball and then try to play it off as contact that brought her down? Might have been what was seen by the official in order to wave it off. He was right there looking right at it. Just a couple of minutes now remaining here in this first half. Don't know that there's a road back for Orlando in this one. But can you start to string together now good stretches of play to build upon for your next one? For Orlando, as this one's sent in and cleared away by Presley. Volleyed from a distance, but wide. Next up for Orlando, 2 more on the road. After back-to-back home games against Chicago and Washington, a 3-match road stretch to enter the FIFA window. This one here, then at Chicago, at Portland. For Houston, they're home on the 12th against Portland, then a doozy. They go LA against Angel City on Wednesday, June 15th, and then fly cross-country to take on North Carolina just 4 days later. Very difficult turnaround for Houston, but the light at the end of the tunnel after that daunting road trip. They have the international window themselves. Houston has to enjoy Rachel Daly while they can tonight this evening. The intention is for her to leave after this match to join England. England is in Group A against Austria, Norway, and Northern Ireland in World Cup qualification. So after this match, she will be helping across the pond and trying to help England qualify for the World Cup. Poor giveaway. On the back by Naughton. It's a moment like that which could let Orlando back into the match if they can capitalize here in this possession. Played in toward LaRue, headed away before it got there. Now Cariabello swings it in, looking back post, headed away by Chapman. 1 minute added on to the end of this first half. And it's a first half that has entirely gone the way of Houston. Clough trying to find a way through. The most telling stat of this first half, though, might be expected goals. Not an exact science, but it gives you an indication of chances created by both teams. It's 3-0 Houston. Orlando has 0.56 expected goals. Houston has 0.53 expected goals. All 3 goals for the Dash. Very unique. One deflected in. The other one should have been saved off the line, but was knocked in. And the one from Daly in the middle was world class. Unfortunate breaks for Orlando. World-class bits of play from Houston, despite the way the numbers look, where it seems like it should be an even match. It's Houston 3, Orlando nothing at the half here at PNC Stadium. Teams are getting ready to make their way back out on the field at PNC Stadium here in Houston, Texas. Joe Malfa here with you this evening for the action between the Houston Dash and Orlando Pride. It was all Houston on the scoreboard in that first half. Elsewhere on the stat sheet, not so much. Houston, the beneficiary of a world-class finish by Rachel Daly. A very fortunate deflection off the leg of Megan Montefusco. And then their opening goal of the match, just an open net for Nichelle Prince, rolling toward the goal line. An attempt from Toni Presley to slide and clear it off the line that she quite frankly should have had, but it was off the side of her leg. She was very upset with herself in the aftermath. So for Houston, 3 goals, but 3 very unique, unconventional ways with which they scored them. And the expected goals tell that story. They have 3 on the board, but 0.53 in the expected goals compared to 0.6 for an Orlando team that's currently being shut out. Sometimes better to be lucky than good, and that's the case right now for Houston. Orlando working a couple of substitutions into the match here at the break. We'll get those to you in a moment. Being put up on the board now by the 4th official. And now we begin half number 2. Houston in the orange from left to right. Orlando in the white from right to left. 45 minutes to go. Houston looking to continue this unbeaten run. They lost the regular season opener 1-0 against San Diego at home. Since then, 2 wins, 2 draws. And this is on the heels of a 2-4 performance in the Challenge Cup, in which it seemed like Houston was nosediving into the season. In that regard, 2 very similar occurrences for both teams. Struggling through the Challenge Cup, beginning the season with a loss where it seemed like it might be a continuation, and then all of a sudden both of these clubs have turned things around. Julie Doyle into the match for Gunny Jonsdottir. The other change is Courtney Peterson into the match for Tony Presley. This is the first time that Houston has ever taken a 3-0 lead into halftime in NWSL. Sanchez looking for Prince. Prince. Back now for Peterson. Wonder what the chat was like between the players and Amanda Cromwell at the break. Down 3-0. Not playing poorly necessarily. What changes does she make in terms of the tactics and the ideals to find a way to fight in this one still? Can't just throw in the towel. It's a long road back, yes, but 45 minutes to still improve upon some things, work toward the next game. All of a sudden you have a positive 45 minutes here. You win the half, even if it's 1-0 or 2-1. You win the second half, and now it's something positive that you can take with you into your next match on the road against Chicago. Sure, you might still lose on the evening, but you can leave feeling positive about something. Your second 45 and end on a high note. Sanchez trying to make sure that doesn't happen. To the end line, into Prince. Michelle Prince, a hat trick. Definitely chipped to the far post. Michelle Prince has 3, Houston has 4, and a continuation in the second half of what we saw in the first. Jay Groom took it to the end line. Went down at the very end hard. She's still down back behind the play, dampening the celebration a little bit. What a finish, though, from Michelle Prince. And Sydney LaRue calling all 10 of the other Orlando players to the middle of their half of the field for a huddle and a chat. And you wonder what's being said right now. It would have been a fly on the wall in the locker room at halftime, down 3-0, and now to come out and give up a fourth just 3 minutes in. Michelle Prince came into the evening with 1 goal on the season. She now has 4 and is tied for the team lead with Rachel Daly. By Sanchez. Thought the run was coming from Daly. It never did. Good to see Groom back out there already after that spill she took. The assist goes down to Groom. And a 3rd goal for Michelle Prince. Seven-year-old from Ontario, Michelle Prince, 3rd-round pick back in 2019. 2016 bronze medal with Canada, 2020 gold medal with Canada. 78 caps for her country. Now in her 87th appearance with the Houston Dash, scores her 10th, 11th, and 12th goals in NWSL. We're beyond the point now of chalking this one up as 3 points for the Dash. And with that being the case, a team that faltered in the Challenge Cup, sputtering toward the end of it, blown out in a couple of games. 2-4 they finish. A coach at the moment on leave, with Sarah Loudon filling in. Amid all that, an incredible start to the regular season, and at the end of the evening, they could be in second place. This win will take them from 8 points up to 11. They'll be 2 points clear of Angel City, who play later tonight on the road in Portland. So unless Angel City goes on the road to Providence Park and picks up a victory, it'll be the Houston Dash in second place at night's end. And it'll be powered by a 5-match unbeaten run, 3 of those wins, 2 of those draws. And still the defensive efforts of Houston only gave up 3 goals in the first 5 matches of the year. And they are now getting closer and closer to another clean sheet. Here's Chapman. Out wide, Sanchez cuts in. Daly tiptoeing the line right now between the center backs. Has to get back on side. Looking for that soft spot again. Up toward Daly. Just did stay on. But headed clear by Montefusco. Over-eager Shea Groom might go in the book for that, taking down Michaela Clough. Luis Guardia brings her over for a chat. Doesn't appear as if a card will be brandished. Still talking over there, and no card. This just came across the wire, believe it or not, with all the goal scoring that the Houston Dash as an organization have had. Kalia Ohai, now Kalia Watt. You've got Rachel Daly. All the players and names that have come through. Nichelle Prince, that is the first hat trick in club history. So a tip of the cap for what Nichelle Prince has accomplished tonight. Here's LaRue. Sydney LaRue to the end line, puts it in front. Steered away by Brysock. Sent back across, Campbell slaps it away. Sent in toward LaRue, off the post. Back out to LaRue. Her shot is saved by Campbell. The night in a nutshell for Orlando. Generating chance after chance. Inches away on a number of occasions. Campbell has come up big. The post has helped out now. Listro headed away by Schmidt. Turn from Miacorta. Floated toward Campbell and sails over the bar. Amanda Cromwell will be unhappy about a couple of things, perhaps for Orlando, but just what more can you do except chalk this one up as an evening that the Soccer Gauchos were on your side in some ways. The deflections that have gone Houston's way, the world-class finishes that you just have to applaud. First, a diving header from beyond the penalty mark by Daly, then the chip to the upper 90 from Nichelle Prince. You'd have to do a lot of research to find a match like this statistically. Expected goals are just about dead even. 0.63 for Houston, 0.62 for Orlando. Instead, it's 4-0 on the scoreboard. When you have a disparity like that, it's bad luck. It's terrific finishing from one team, and there's nothing you can do about it except start looking ahead to the next one, which for Orlando is Sunday the 12th against Chicago, followed by Sunday the 19th against Portland, both of those on the road. So 2 more chances to end on a high note before the international window. It would be nice for all these teams bunched around the playoff line to end this first chapter of the season above that line. It's tight. There's still a long way to go, but psychologically, you go into a break of that length, that international break, you like to see your name above the playoff line. Helps you rest a bit easier at night during your time off. Still so long to go in the season once we return, but it's a nice thing to see. Free kick on the way for the dash. Room taken down. We're making a switch here. Rivas Ali coming into the match for Marissa Vigiano. A good hour from Vigiano. Traded from Orlando to Houston this offseason. On the bench at times this year in favor of Kelsey Hedge. Hedge went down last week. Vigiano stepped in as a sub and now got the start again tonight. Free kick swung in, the header toward the far post, off the crossbar from Schmidt. That close to a 5th for Houston. Might they get it here? Always rising. Sanchez went for the glory, why not? Well done by Clough to win it. Who's going to run with her? The answer, unfortunately, is nobody. Jenkins and LaRue have their runs bent out wide. Clough was looking through the middle to play somebody into the box, and nobody showed it. Now we're on the right side, Doyle. Still Doyle. Played on the ground in front. And LaRue unable to flip the hip and get a shot on target. Full slate of games tomorrow in NWSL, and don't forget more tonight with Portland hosting Angel City. Space here centrally for Orlando. LaRue to the end line. Well defended, and she commits the foul. Tomorrow begins with Chicago hosting OL Reign, followed by Gotham and Washington, Louisville and North Carolina, and then Kansas City hosting San Diego to round it out. Michelle Prince again with the hat trick tonight. It's her first professional hat trick, but she does have an international hat trick. It came against Guatemala in 2016 in Olympic qualifying right here at PNC Stadium in Houston. What a special place for her this is becoming. Both hat tricks in her career, one internationally, one for club, both here. Picked up a yellow for time wasting. Needless. Up 4-0 with just under 30 minutes remaining. Change was made on the Orlando side. Carriabello leaves. Ellie Strom enters. Isabello out, Strom in. For McLeod. First time here facing the dash after time spent with Houston. And not a night to remember, unfortunately, for Erin McLeod. Talk about what Orlando could maybe do here to try and salvage something positive going into the next game and utilizing all the time remaining to build upon things. Same could be said for Houston. If there's ever a time to experiment with a couple of players, maybe in different roles, or giving some time to players on the bench who don't regularly see time, a 4-0 lead with 25 minutes remaining on your home field is the time to do it. Played through here. Well defended on the back end by Vasali. Sent back in the area of LaRue. Played along for Pruitt and steered aside by Prysock. Jenkins floats it centrally. All the way through for LaRue. Overlap for Strom. In the middle and cleared. LaRue back for Peterson. Four straight games with multiple goals scored by Orlando. Even that won't be enough here. But a streak that's very much in jeopardy in the closing moments. And on the opposite side, Houston, again, just 3 goals allowed in the first 5 matchups. Here's Nichelle Prince with some space. Can she make it 4? Has Groom streaking down the middle, tried to be selfless, and it's intercepted. Rachel Daly again will be leaving after this match to join England ahead of their World Cup qualifying. All the way back for Campbell. Let's not lose sight of that massive save Campbell made a few moments before Houston scored their first of the match. Sydney LaRue in alone, about parallel with the penalty spot, but a few yards askew, even maybe with the left post. So on a bit of an angle, Jane Campbell played it perfectly, came off her line, cut down the angle. Quick reaction save with the right foot. That save was made. A few moments later, Houston makes it 1-0 and never look back. How different would this game be? And Orlando got up 1-0 in that moment, rather than being the victims of robbery by Jane Campbell. Doyle through the middle, headed away. So for Campbell, it shows up as just one of her only 3 saves on the evening on the stat sheet. But it meant so much more, given the quality of the save and the juncture of the match. After that stop, there was a turn in the play. You could sense that her teammates went ahead and fed off the momentum and the energy of the crowd. Sanchez, her evening is over. Elizabeth Eddy just entering. Emily Ogle in the match as well for Sophie Schmidt. So these are the moments you could get some of these players into the match, give them some minutes. Ogle, just her 3rd appearance of the season, has only played 25 minutes. She'll play 20 more here. And for Elizabeth Eddy, just her 4th appearance of the season. Daly still fighting and hustling up 4 at this juncture of the match, 20 minutes to go. Could be very easy to make the decision to just say, you know what, this game's in hand. I'm leaving for England tomorrow. Why risk anything, but it's not in her DNA. We'll battle to the last or until she's taken off. And even if she's taken off, she probably won't be happy about that. Loves to just be out there and compete. Clough. Back through the middle for Jenkins. I'm very pleased with what they've seen this evening. Not much they can complain about. Clean sheet intact, 4 goals on the board. First hat trick in Houston Dash history. Well worth the price of admission tonight. We got to see Rachel Daly, which might be a goal of the year candidate. It wasn't flashy, a bicycle kick or a strike from 30 yards out, but what she did was remarkable. A diving header from just beyond the penalty spot, up and over the goalkeeper, under the bar. Rivasali inside to Prince. Daly switches the field over for Chapman. Now up into space for Elizabeth Eddy. And cleared. Good step by Doyle. Flicked on by Jenkins. Yanked down. Changes on the way out for Orlando. Parker Roberts in for Michaela Clough. And on her, James in for Leah Pruitt. Under a quarter of an hour remaining here at PNC Stadium. Joe Malfa on hand for the action between Houston and Orlando. All Houston tonight, a reset of the action for you. It started back in the first half a forgettable dozen minutes for Orlando. Nichelle Prince opened it up in the 27th minute on a ball that was nearly saved off the line by Tony Presley. Then, 5 minutes later, Rachel Daly, a world-class finish on a diving header. That was her 4th of the year. Fast forward 7 more minutes to close out that stretch of 12 minutes with 3 goals. It's Nichelle Prince again. And then to begin the second half, 49th minute, another one for Nichelle Prince, completing the hat trick, her first as a professional in club play, the first ever in Dash history. It's Prince's second hat trick ever, including one she had with Canada in Olympic qualifying right here in this stadium. And that's where we are. 4-0 Houston. Being told that they're readying a sub to get Nichelle Prince off the field, and when that happens, just soak in the standing ovation she should receive. Goal it'll be Joelle Anderson, the 26th overall pick in the 2021 NWSL draft, who will enter the match, and it will be her season debut. Deflected on the shot. I mentioned a few moments ago, this is a great time to work some new players into the mix. If you're Houston with this kind of lead and under 15 minutes remaining on the clock, you get a season debut on the horizon, it appears here, for Joelle Anderson, who will be coming in for Nichelle Prince, as Peterson serves this one up toward the back post, and it is dispatched by Hansen. And that might be Hansen's last action, because she is on the way out for Michelle Alozzi, who has played just 5 minutes this season. So 2 players about to sub in for Houston who have a combined 1 appearance for 5 minutes this year. Smart of Sarah Loudon to use this as a chance to get those players in and give them some time. Villacorta. Here come those changes officially. Nichelle Prince leaves to the ovation of the crowd. A hat trick, first in Houston Dash history. Here comes Joelle Anderson making her season debut for Houston. Appeared first for the Dash in the Challenge Cup, coming over from Louisville. Now Michelle Alozzi. And her regular season debut for 5 minutes in the season opener against San Diego. Hasn't played since. Only 4 matches in the regular season last year for Houston. Actually has a bit of history in another uniform in this stadium. Last June in the Summer Series against the United States, made her international debut for Nigeria. Alozzi, chance here, all alone, off the outside of the post, or maybe just inches wide. That That would have been the first goal of her NWSL career. It opened up so perfectly, all alone from the edge of the box. Back into the action for the quickly taken free kick. Almost going to give and go into the area. Something special going on right now all of a sudden in Houston. Lose the season opener. 5 unbeaten since then. 3 of them wins. They've alternated wins and draws. 2-0 over Kansas City, 1-1 against Louisville. 2-0 over Portland, 1-1 against North Carolina. And now 4-0 here. 11 points from their first 6 matches. They'll be in second place momentarily. And they'll remain in second place come tomorrow morning if Angel City is unable to beat Portland on the road. And with that being said, there's a chance that they could end the weekend in second place. You look at some of the other teams that have options as far as catching them. OL Reign was on the road against Chicago. OL Reign would have to win to overtake this Houston side, and then nobody else can overtake them. Chicago and Louisville are both on 8 points. Best they can do is tie. So unless either OL Reign beats Chicago tomorrow or Angel City beats Portland tonight, Houston Dash will be in second place at the end of the weekend here in NWSL. Most teams only have 2 games remaining before the international break. Houston does have 3. They're 3 in the span of 7 days. Sunday the 12th, home against Portland. Wednesday the 15th at Angel City. And then Sunday the 19th at North Carolina, who they just drew 1-1 last time out. That's a heavy collision that leaves McLeod down prone in the box. Hope just the wind knocked out of her and nothing more serious. She's right back to her feet. Good to see, hobbling around just a bit. But quickly walking that off. Lifted her at this point, down 4-0, to get some rest ahead of their next match. But soldiering on, especially after the knock she picked up in Challenge Cup to the knee that should have missed some time. 31 years of age. Alone. Alozie stumbling, keeps her feet in again. Alozie! The first goal of her NWSL career. And the exclamation point on an already incredible evening for the Houston Dash. Had a chance moments prior after she came on as a sub. Pulled it just wide of the post on a breakaway. Did not make the same mistake twice. All smiles. Just her 8th appearance tonight in all competitions. Only has one start, came in the Challenge Cup. Coming into the evening, only 186 minutes in NWSL. No goals until now. On the ground through the middle and off target. Frustrating night for Orlando all around. This would be the biggest home win since 2018 for the Dash. August 25th, 2018, a 6-1 win against then Sky Blue FC here at home. I think you'd prefer this one to that one, though. Same 5-goal difference, but always nice to put up a clean sheet if they can hold on to this over the last minute and a half plus stoppage time. And they are just minutes away from getting through 6 regular season games, allowing just 3 goals, 0.5 per game. Each of their wins, if this holds this season, will have been clean sheets. 2-0 against Kansas City, 2-0 against Portland, 5-0 here. It's been a topsy-turvy first couple of weeks of the regular season. At least based off of what we learned about some of these teams in the Challenge Cup and the opinions we might have formed based on the rosters and knowing how each of these teams were comprised. Don't think many people would have turned around and said, and after the way these teams looked in the Challenge Cup, that San Diego would be in first, Houston would be in second, and Angel City would be no worse than third at night's end. Could be in second if they come up with a win. And if anybody tells you they saw it that way, they're either A, a liar, or B, need to give you the lottery numbers as well. Only 3 minutes of added time here. See if Orlando can't salvage something at the end. Nothing else, at least continue your streak of games with a goal. Orlando hasn't been blanked since the opener, a 3-0 loss against Gotham. 5 consecutive games, multiple goals in 4 consecutive games. But barring something that would stray from what we've seen so far this evening, it will be held scoreless and snap both of those streaks. First career hat trick in club history, a first career goal for Michelle Alozzi, a candidate for goal of the year by Rachel Daly. The highlights of an evening that went entirely Houston's way. Might they find a sixth? Shea Groom. Alozzi making the run on the left side. She goes right with the pass instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, waved off. Very late offside flag by the assistant referee. Waited till the last second to pop that flag. Ball had already crossed the line. And the absolute correct call was made. The final whistle at PNC Stadium. What an evening it was for the Dash and their fans. 5 goals on the evening. A hat trick for Nichelle Prince. They scored 3 as a team in the span of 12 minutes in the first half and continued that in the second half. A first career goal for Michelle Alozzi. 3 more points for the Dash. They go to second place in the NWSL, and that does it for us tonight from Houston, Texas. For the crew that makes this possible, I'm Joe Malfa saying good night from PNC Stadium. Houston Dash 5. They are now unbeaten in their last 5, and Orlando nothing.